Imagine you wake up from a 3-day bender with the boys. You stumble outside your room and bam, you're in the world of Elden Ring.
Shit.
Good luck. In this video, we're going to rank your survival chances in all the game's major areas based on the average person's capabilities, actual survival needs like food, water, shelter, the freakishly dangerous wildlife. Rest in pieces. Let's run it. Caelid. Now, if you're from Florida, this is an S tier location for you because it's literally just a 1-to-1 remake of Florida, but otherwise, you're going to have a tough time. Shelter would be tough to maintain in this area. I can't imagine why. Your best place for shelter would be at the base of the Divine Tower of Caelid. No enemies and decent shelter from the elements. But can you actually get there alive? I tested it with the assumption that one hit would kill you. I'd recommend coming in from this side because the other side has dragons. I'd rather risk breaking my ankles. So you do have a slim chance of shelter. How about food and water in Caelid? Food? Not gonna have it. The plants around here give you faded Erd tree flowers, which aren't good enough to live off of. And the merchants here must be owned by Eric's Premium Prices.
Hi, I'm Eric, and welcome to Eric's Premium Prices. I've got all the premium prices. I've got $19.99 for sale for $20. You come
Because selling one flower gives you a crisp $10 bill, which isn't enough to get fingered, let alone a good meal. Lastly, for water, it does rain sometimes. So, you might collect a little water in a pot if you could afford it. I don't know how Floridians do it, but Caelid is S tier for them, and then it's an F tier for the rest of us. Evens out to a nice D tier in total for your chance of survival. Altus Plateau. All right, let's go somewhere nice. This place is so fall. The only dangers here are burning your lips on your pumpkin spice latte. Plus, they have pre-built shelters with nobody in them. Perfectly safe. Oh shit, never mind. Maybe not there, but I did easily find other shelters. One of which is right by water. Granted, it does have some unsightly bathers, but really nothing uglier than what's in your apartment pool complex in the real world, and a whole lot less aggressive too. So far, this place ain't so bad. And get this, boys, there's a singles dance night in the neighborhood.
Yeah, baby!
These broads are into some crazy shit. But leave the party before the ladies get a little too catty and jealous. All that dancing does make you hungry though, and fortunately for you, there are a lot of video game rabbits running around, and they're super slow and they're easy to beat to death with your bare fists. But you do have to live with yourself, you murderer. Overall, Altus Plateau, a respectable A tier for survival, but not quite S tier because there are random soldiers that can murder you. Lindale, beautiful golden city. As long as you can avoid combat, you've got easy access to food, water, shelter, everything you need. Only one problem.
Oh my goodness! Squidward!
Yeah, in this scenario, you're literally that one guy from Avatar.
My cabbages!
The main character couldn't care less about the happy little life you've built in the city. His main quest is going to drop your property value like it's 2007. All ash, no food, no water. Well, actually, there is some poop water down in the sewers, but you probably wouldn't last more than 60 seconds down there for several reasons. So, still dead. F tier. Moving on. Limgrave. Beautiful. Safely accessible church, and the merchant is owned by Tim's Discount Prices?
Hi, me Momo Tim Heidecker, and welcome to Discount Prices. I've got $1.99. I've got $7.99. I've got $16.99.
Beyond that, there is easily accessible water. Half the enemies do nothing.
You ever meet somebody that don't do nothing? They don't do nothing. They don't date. They don't do drugs. They don't play checkers. They don't do nothing.
Lit fires everywhere for you to yoink at will. You have a pet dog, for crying out loud. What more do you want? Yeah, the neighbors keep their Halloween decorations up all year long, but overall, a relatively safe, dog-friendly neighborhood. This is an S tier. Buy now, boys. Weeping Peninsula. On the surface, this looks really similar to Limgrave. It's even got dogs and water again. So it's an easy S tier, right? Well, so that watering hole is out. The neighbors are also just like a little odd. Oh, Jesus, son of a bitch. This area is shockingly dangerous for how early it is in the game. There are tons of dogs, soldiers, poison, none of which is that big of a deal when you're a player, but when you're just you, everything is lethal. Even the main church isn't safe here because these headless guys are always pissed off.
So no head?
Also, no room for you in any of these underground shelters either. But with a little luck, you do find one area with some nice water, and luckily these neighbors, they don't give you any trouble. And with some secluded, albeit a little precarious, shelter, you might find a way to make a meager living here. But good luck trying to beat your lunch to death here, so you'd have to get a little creative. All things considered, this is getting a passable C for your chances of survival. Liurnia of the Lakes. Gods be praised, there's so much water. But it's what lies beneath the water that's the problem. It's like what your dad told you about the school bullies. Pretend like you don't care, just ignore them and they'll leave you alone. Oh, never mind. Oh, God. Granted, if you do get desperate enough, you could try to place an order at the local Burger King. But that's not really going to go well. But staying just outside the castle does reap quite a few benefits, like this little gem. Perfect little nook, very cozy. The real sweet spot, though, is if you can make it to the rise in the middle of the lake. This place has food. It's surrounded by water. Not a single enemy on the entire rock. All you need to do for shelter is punch a couple of turtles, and you're in, baby. Home sweet home. Literally the most self-sustaining shelter in the game. Overall, though, due to certain death erupting out of nowhere from the water and poor fast food service, this is going to get a D tier spot. Mount Gelmir. Here's the deal. There's water right at the beginning. But the problem is shelter and food. There's only one way to go up the Gelmir Road, and enemies have insane aggro here. So water or not, you are dead on this side of the mountain, 100%. The issue is this entire mountain is just one giant battlefield covered with bodies and soldiers. It is not good for you, our sweatpant hero. Your only chance is Volcano Manor itself. So I had to run a test to see if you could even run your way past the enemies to safely get into the Volcano Manor. And it was a bit of a butt clencher because, again, one hit would be the assumption you're dead. Shockingly, there is a small chance that you could run your way into the manor alive. Yahoo! Exhausted and starving, you would plant yourself at the mercy of the lady of the manor. And with any luck, you'd get fed to the snake immediately. Who are we kidding? So overall, Mount Gelmir is going from bad to worse, to the snake's mouth, to the snake's stomach, to probably getting tickled the whole way down by all those hands, but inevitably a horrible, painful death. F tier. Mountaintop of the Giants. If you were placed here in just your pajamas, I wouldn't blame you for immediately.
Nope.
This is one of the few areas where the climate is one of the main factors of whether you survive or not. You will need to find something warm fast. Luckily, there are plenty of neighbors with warm clothing that aren't using them anymore. Also, this is one of the very few places in the game with a secluded shack with a lit fire in a secluded corner. Not bad at all. Just make sure to thank your gracious host. This is also one of the few places you actually have a chance of defending yourself. This place has a lot of light enemies with really easily dodged attacks. You lure them to the edge, and we've all seen the movie.
This is Sparta!
All in all, not too bad. Snow is water, so you can drink that. Free shelter, free fire, free clothes, tons of wildlife for you to beat to death. Oh, God. Yeah, I couldn't find any other food on this entire area, so you'd have to get real lucky somehow. Because of that complication, this area sits at a solid B tier for your survival. Crumbling Faram, Azula. This place sucks. There's a literal swirling tornado hazard, and at any time, a dragon can swoop down to murder you. On top of that, God forbid you take a nap in the wrong spot and you wake up to get lasered by a time-locked dragon lord. The silver lining is that, believe it or not, there's actually some water up here, as well as some nice, well-kept fires to keep you cozy. You may even be able to build like a little tent structure on one of these cliff sides and just pray to God that the dragons don't notice or care. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any food here, so you might have to get friendly with the locals. Hey, buddy, over here by yourself? I'll be your friend for some food. Yeah, come say hi, buddy. Oh, God, maybe not. Over this area, not safe inside, not truly safe outside, and no clear location for food puts it at a D tier. Micholas Haligtree.
You sure are giving these clubs some crazy names.
Your best chance is going full Tarzan on this one. Per usual, we need to test if you would be able to easily monkey your way over if you started on the tree. It's not likely. But this place does have a lot going for it in terms of fire and shelter availability. Also, in some places, you can establish yourself as the alpha ape with the right setup. But again, you really need to set up shop where you can find easily accessible food and water, none of which is found in the tree. In fact, clean water is difficult to find anywhere in this area. But after some searching, I did find a place with shelter, fire, water, and likely food. There is only one problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's in Melania's boss room. So you guys can argue about the lore reasons of how Melania would respond if you guys ran in there half naked like Tarzan.
I don't know if they wanted money or they wanted something more sexual.
But either way, she is your best chance for survival, and she may demand payment.
Orgy.
All I'm saying is be prepared for things to not necessarily go the way you would have expected. All in all, I'm giving this a C tier for survivability. Lake of Rot. So Fias River. Now we're talking. This place is even better than you think. There's water everywhere. Animals everywhere. They call you MLK for handing out those equal rights and lefts. There's an actual house. You gotta evict a couple of tenants, but you blame the economy and you start numbering your house with this kind of font, and you open an indie coffee shop down the road. One day you're out hunting on your land, and then, yeah, you definitely deserve that. All in all, this place has everything. Food, water, shelter, you name it. But it's really not cool what you're doing, so it's a B. Nokrin Eternal City. If you can survive, it's gorgeous. However, right at the beginning, you do have to fight a mimic tier of yourself, which can really go one of two ways. One, you both die because you're equal to each other, so that never really made sense to me. Or two, it's a Scott Pilgrim situation and you become homies.
Yeah, all right, be good, yeah.
The best part about this whole area is all the little critters live together in perfect harmony, no violence, no hatred, and you fit right in.
Get over here.
Hunting is pretty easy when your prey is enlightened. As for water, I'm going to assume this is fresh water, so you're super solid on that. And lastly, for shelter, there's plenty of options. One unique one is setting up camp here next to all these jellyfish. It's perfectly secluded and they don't attack unless provoked, but they're still a great deterrent for other people that might want to wander into your camp. There are some other tempting shelters. And yes, I tested it so you don't have to. It's so close, but it's not worth it. You'll die. Mogwin Palace. Horrible. So many insane enemies. And I don't think these goobers are drinking Kool-Aid. F tier. Deep Root Depths. Another solid start with water. It does look a little milky, but don't look up why that is. It gets a little cummy. Moving on. You're back to your Tarzan cosplaying, but believe it or not, you can actually sneak around just about anywhere you need to, even though this is a high tier area. There's even some lovely female companionship. She's a little old, but she's lonely, and she has no teeth. Do with that as you will. For shelter, there is actually a perfect little structure with an immovable enemy whose attack just stays in front of him, leaving you safely. What the hell? I could have sworn it does not have range. That's on me. Unfortunately, that's really the only safe indoor structure that I found. So you're going to be camping under the stars. Lastly, for food, couldn't find a speck of it. That sucks. So I think you're going to starve to death down here. That puts Deep Root Depths firmly in D tier for lacking good shelter, food, and trustworthy water. And that's it, babes. Let me know if I missed something or how well off you would do in the world of Elden Ring. Also, remember to like and subscribe. It does a lot of good for a small channel like ours. Check out all our other videos as well. But as always, thanks for watching.